Hello and welcome to the parent briefing for Year 9 parents. My name is Chris Doherty. I'm the head of school. Mrs Hardingham is still the executive head teacher and she now shares responsibility over both ourselves and Trafalgar School. So day-to-day running the school is now down to me. So the purpose of this really was just hopefully to help you in supporting your child to achieve their very best in all sorts of shapes and ways. Just a reminder, this is what we're all about. What's our purpose? What's our curriculum? We want the students to leave here as successful learners. Doesn't necessarily mean the highest grades in everything, etc., but they know how to learn, they can turn their hand to anything. And the second point there, our second curriculum aim, they are confident individuals. They know what they're good at, they know what they need to focus on more, and they have that confidence to take out into their future career, into the outside world. And also our personal development curriculum, looking at their rights, looking at respect, looking at health and safety, safeguarding, etc. We want responsible citizens making informed decisions for the future, and that's down to a lot of our curriculum as well. And we say this again and again, but actually the influence the school has on your child is outweighed by the influence you have on your child. It's all the studies show that the parental involvement in their child's education will have the most impact upon whether that child succeeds and to what level they succeed. So the more you can be engaged with them, what they're learning, all they want to do is make you feel proud. It's what every child feels about a parent. They want to make you proud. If you're interested in it, if you're looking at their work, if you're talking to them about it, it will really, really encourage them, especially as they go through these teenage years. As a school, we're always looking for, this is what we do well, but here's areas where we could do even better. And there's just two, because obviously we want you to feel connected with the school. There's two areas that I just want to go over. There's more than that in our school improvement plan, believe me. First one is oracy. And what we've done is we've signed up to a project where we're having all of our staff over this year and next trained up to explicitly teach oracy skills across the curriculum. The purpose of this is we've always had a focus on literacy and numeracy, but oracy is that ability to put in words your thoughts, your feelings, to use the correct language. For our students going out into the workplace when they leave here or going on to further studies, that confidence and that ability to speak up, express themselves has loads of health benefits, it's got loads of educational benefits, and it's definitely got loads of career success benefits, because that's what employers want. People who have that confidence and they can orate, express themselves, they can listen, they can reword things, etc. So explicitly teaching oracy is an area we're looking to really grow on over this year. And the second area is something that actually as a school we've always been strong on. Everyone always comments upon the strong relationships here between the teaching staff or the support staff and the students. Restorative approaches is very much that. It's the language we use with each other. It's the approach, it's making everyone feel connected with the school. It's how we treat each other and get to know each other as individuals. And in tutor time, your children have probably talked about community circles, where we start every Monday now with how was your weekend? And everybody shares with each other and building up on that vertical tutoring we started on 3 years ago. So they're two key areas where we're really looking to be more explicit in our practice and things that don't just happen by accident, but actually training our staff and all staff incorporating in this and taking our students with us on that journey. So, talking about parental engagement before, just want to go through a few quick things where you can have a massive impact upon your child's success. I won't read it to you, but obviously if they're in school, they don't miss out on the learning, they succeed much better. If they're off school because of testing positive for COVID, they obviously at the moment have to do 10 days isolation. We're asking teachers to put all the work onto Google Classroom so that doesn't disrupt any further or any more than the last couple of years anybody else's education. So please encourage your children to access that there if they're in that unfortunate situation. And then I said it's about how you can support them. You've now got teenagers. It may be your 5th teenager, it may be your 1st. There's brain rearrangement going on for teenagers as they develop and grow, as they mature. And actually, the normal teenage persona, the exaggeration of a teenager as being moody and stroppy and not listening and being disorganised, a lot of that is to do with the actual physical changes in their brain. They don't actually choose that. So, things we can do as adults to really help them is praise. Praise the effort. And it's not reserved praise. It's not a matter of, well done with that, but you could do better. It's oh, that looks really great. Stop. Don't carry on, because all they'll hear is the criticism. Teenagers absolutely need praise and encouragement, and we need to avoid criticism, because that's all they remember. Everyone's always whinging at me, everyone's always moaning at me. We need to build their growth mindset, their ability to look at it from a point of view of, I'm not amazing at this yet, but I know how to get better. I can do this bit, and now I need to work on this bit, rather than the traditional, I can't do this, which is very easy to say and hide behind. Teenagers need help planning and managing, especially with things like homework, or how to share out their time so they don't keep putting things off. We all know that if our teenage children have a good night's sleep, they're a very different animal the next day than when they've lost sleep and they're grumpy and moody and they fly off the handle at the slightest word. And with work, there's so many more distractions now with mobiles and pinging and Instagram and Snapchat, and actually it's hard to concentrate on things with that going on the whole time. So actually having time with their phones and distractions, and having time without their phones and distractions, and those are our rules as adults to set. And lastly, in terms of mental health and mental well-being, a lot of teenagers will always say they feel a bit out of control. The adults are ruling their lives. The adults tell them what to do, and actually what they want is to be listened to. Doesn't mean we have to agree with them, doesn't mean that they're always right, but they do want to feel listened to. Anyway, hopefully some of that was of some use, but we just need to remind ourselves of these things now and again. In terms of finding things to praise them for, on Insight you should be able to find out how they're doing at school with their praise points or anything great they've done. In their books, we try to encourage them to show pride in their work. I know my daughter loves it when I look through her books with her. She wants to show me what great work she's doing. There's a massive smile on her face as she does it. Other people do it a bit more grumpily, but again, they just want to make you feel proud of them, and then they take pride in themselves. Their attitude to learning, if it goes below a B, hopefully you'll be contacting the tutor and the teachers in that subject and working out a plan on the way to go forward to get that grade up. With their planning for independent learning, how do they spread that out over the week? So parents have a Show My Homework app as well, which you can have on your device. If your child is not great at this, maybe you need that as well. I know some children are brilliant at managing this for themselves, and you just need to keep an eye on it. And reading. In those exams at the end of school, students need a reading age of between 16 and 18, so that their reading doesn't become a problem and doesn't block them from accessing the exam papers. With that in mind, the only way to get a high reading age is by practice. The more often you read, the appropriate materials, etc. Year 9s are still doing accelerated reader, so buying into that, reading regularly, just little bits now and again. And again, it's that time to do homework, time to do a bit of reading, and free time to relax and enjoy being a child. It's getting that happy balance that they really need help to manage that from you. Wanted to draw attention to online safety, because just before the summer holidays a report came out called the Sexual Abuse Review, looking at what teenagers are facing nowadays. 88% of girls at secondary schools are reporting that they receive indecent images, some quite regularly, and there's loads of other statistics in there that are really worrying. So we are going to do a further briefing for that for parents on that, but I know myself I need to go out of my way to find out how Snapchat is a risk to my children and to try and keep them safe. So actually there's a link on our website to all these different agencies. There's training available for parents about what the risks are, etc. through these agencies, like the CEOPS, the first one up here, which is the sort of online police. There's also great places to report things that you think is bad, or that you shouldn't be exposed, your children shouldn't be exposed to. Unfortunately, a lot of teenagers now think it's fairly normal to be receiving strange images and abuse online, etc. It's just a normal way of being. So I think we need to let them know, and part of our job is to educate them that this isn't normal, it's not okay, and we should be reporting it. We've got to get that culture right. So a few key dates. There's a careers fair. Your Year 9 students have now started their option subjects. I've been in and out of lessons. I know they're loving it. I know how focused they are in lessons. It's amazing to walk around and see that every day. There's mentoring day on the 3rd of March, parents evening later in March, so you'll get a good idea how they're starting in those option subjects and their other subjects. And then some exams later in Year 9, so we can keep a check of how they're progressing. And those exams, the purpose of it, for us and the students, what are the areas they're great at, what are the areas we need to focus on more. Our website has lots of links, it has the latest news. And each week you should be sent the parent bulletin so you know what's going on at the school, because again, as I said at the start, we want you to feel connected and a part of your child's education. I'm just going to re-mention, because your child is now in Year 9, their creativity choice option, which they are studying just over Years 9 and Year 10, it's really important they get off to a good start in that this year, because they'll be examined in that and finishing that at the end of Year 10. So this next 2 years is where they're studying that subject. So that's where they need to get into really good habits early on. Grade sheets as normal. All the time they're on target, all the time they're above target. Loads of praise, loads of encouragement. Anytime they're below target, discussing how we move forward. And as I've mentioned a few times, with reading, with homework, with working hard in lessons, with taking pride, they're all just habits. Sometimes they're hard to get to in the first place, but then they're very easy once you get there to maintain them. So as teachers, as adults, as parents, we get them into the good habits with encouragement and praise, and then hopefully they can maintain those habits throughout and they reach those aims. They're successful, they're confident, and they're responsible. Please just do not underestimate the impact you can have on your child's success. Thank you very much for listening. And obviously, if you have any further questions or you need to talk about your child and their education at all, your first port of call would be to contact the tutor. Okay, thank you for now. I'll say goodbye.